You ever have one of those days where everything's just going absolutely perfectly? It's like it's almost like you reach that mindset of flow and everything just seems to just be going swimmingly. And then something comes along and everything just gets horrible all at once. That's what today's vlog is about. So let me back up. Went to work today. Fine work day, came home, and it is Thursday, which is podcast night. That's when everybody comes over and we have an amazing time where we all sit around the mic, talk about the things that are geeky that week, and generally just have a great time hanging out together. And we did that. Specifically, we podcasted tonight about E3, just like I did yesterday with Nerdco. Same thing, Geeks Podcast did their podcast on E3 tonight. And it was an amazing time. We podcasted for about an hour straight, and me and Zeke and Grampy just talked about our favorite moments from Microsoft, Sony, and Nintendo. We had tons of funny jokes, and everything was flowing seamlessly. And then, tragedy struck. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a mix-up where I, like an idiot, did not save the project file we were working on when we recorded the podcast. Because we roasted the podcast, and now we get to record the whole thing again. Awesome. Everyone's very excited for this. So, and Lucas in particular feels bad because he's the guy that accidentally opened the project file and deleted our work. So it was a team effort. We screwed this up together. Up here, big dog. Yes. Not really a tragedy, and that's really what I wanted to talk about today. So, what ended up happening was we recorded for about an hour, and the way we do our podcast is we record directly into GarageBand on the Mac right here behind me. Lately, Lucas has been picking up the editing and kind of helping to edit the podcast, which frees me up to do things like continue to record vlogs, talk to people on social media, and generally explore other opportunities for Geeks Podcast, and that's awesome. I'm so thankful that he's doing that. So what happened was, he had told me earlier in the week that he needed some help basically optimizing some files or some of the things that he was trying to do in a project, and not thinking after we finished recording, but pivotally, before I saved the file, I told him to go ahead and throw his thumb drive into the Mac and that I would take a look at it. He did so, closed it without thinking, and it deleted everything we just recorded. Ouch. But that's the thing about events that you experience in your daily life. Events are inherently meaningless until you begin to assign them value by kind of analyzing them or examining them through the lens that is human understanding. Once you do that, then things either become awesome or they become super crappy. This could have been a crappy event, but it wasn't a crappy event. And the reason it wasn't was because as soon as we got done, a couple of magical things started to happen. One is we have such an amazing team of people like Zeke and Christina, Storm, Lucas, everybody, all the people that I can't name right now because it would just be ridiculous. But it was cool because as soon as we got done and we realized that, yeah, we screwed up pretty bad and we had just blown away an hour's worth of hard work, everybody was immediately like, let's do it again. Like, they didn't even think about it. Everybody just kind of immediately was like, well, you know, that happened. Let's just deal with it and move on. And that is great. It's an amazing attitude to have, and I'm so blessed to be surrounded by people that have this kind of mentality that if something goes bad, you just deal with it and move on. And that's exactly what we did. We just re-recorded the whole thing. And the other thing was, it wasn't just cool to see that everybody was willing to get behind it and do the whole podcast again, but after we did it, we realized the second take was infinitely better than the first time we did it. Since we kind of already knew everything that we talked about, conversation flowed better, we remember games that we forgot to mention the first time around, and all in all, it was just a better production. So that's the thing. Even though it could have been a really horrible situation, and it would have been awesome for me to have that 40 minutes to an hour of my life back to do things like play video games, it was still a total win. And it was a win because, you know, everybody just kind of came together and did what needed to be done to get the podcast out. The podcast was better for it. And ultimately, it was just a great learning experience for everybody. And just a sound reinforcement of how much I love the team that I get to work with every single day. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And I will see you on tomorrow's vlog. Later.